Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today, T.M.T.G just filed an 8K, and I'm seeing one major thing that matters. Quick note, this is not financial advice, just my take on public filings for educational purposes. The company announced an interview with its interim CEO, and it hints at a big upcoming business combination. Alright, let's dive into this filing. Trump Media and Technology Group, or T.M.T.G, has put out a Form 8K. This is basically a report to let the public know about big events happening with the company that investors need to know about. What's really interesting here is that on May 26th, the interim CEO, Kevin McGurn, was interviewed. The interview was with Vince Molinari from FinTech Television. The filing specifically points out that the interview talked about a proposed business combination. This means T.M.T.G is thinking about merging or joining forces with another company called TAE Technologies Incorporated. This is a pretty big deal for any company, and especially for T.M.T.G given its public profile. They've even provided a link to the video of the interview on Truth Social and attached the full transcript as an exhibit. So if you want all the details, you can go straight to the source. Now, what does a business combination like this mean for T.M.T.G and its shareholders? When two companies combine, it can lead to all sorts of changes. It could be to combine resources, expand into new markets, or create a stronger competitive position. For T.M.T.G, this could signal a move to diversify its business beyond just social media. TAE Technologies, based on its name, sounds like it could be involved in technology, possibly even something cutting edge like energy or advanced tech. When companies like this announce a merger or acquisition, it often creates a lot of buzz. Investors will be looking closely at the terms of the deal, how it will be structured, and what the potential benefits are for both companies. This filing is just the first step in disclosing this potential major event. Looking ahead, the company says it plans to file a registration statement on Form S-4 with the CC. This is a pretty standard step when a company is issuing new stock as part of a merger or acquisition. It is essentially the company telling the CC all about the deal, the new stock being issued, and why it is a good idea. They'll have to provide a lot of detailed information here, including a document that acts as both a proxy statement for T.M.T.G shareholders and a prospectus. They are strongly advising investors to read all these documents very carefully before making any voting decisions. This is super important because these filings will contain all the nitty-gritty details about T.M.T.G and TAE, the proposed deal, and importantly, the risks involved. It is always a good idea to understand the potential downsides before you jump into anything. The filing also flags that T.M.T.G and TAE, along with their key executives and directors, might be considered participants in asking for shareholder votes on this deal. This is a regulatory disclosure to make sure everyone knows who might be trying to influence the vote. Now, like most filings like this, there is a section dedicated to forward-looking statements. This is essentially a legal disclaimer. They're saying that anything in this report that talks about the future, like their plans for the merger, expectations about financial performance, or future operations, is based on current beliefs and assumptions. They give examples of words like anticipate, believe, expect, and will. That signal these are future-looking statements. The big takeaway here is that the actual results could be very different from what they're hoping for and planning for. They're basically saying, don't hold us to these future predictions because a lot can happen. They go on to list out a lot of potential risks. These include things like not being able to complete the transaction, legal challenges, issues with getting financing, changes in the value of digital assets, disruptions to their operations, competition in their industries, and delays in developing new technology. They also mention regulatory hurdles, intellectual property issues, and general economic conditions. It is a pretty extensive list of things that could go wrong. For instance, if they can't get the necessary shareholder approvals, or if there are unexpected regulatory roadblocks, the whole deal could fall apart, or even if the deal goes through, it might not bring the benefits they expect. Competition is always a factor, and if their combined entities can't effectively compete, then the merger might not be successful. And another important point in this section is that T.M.T.G and TAE are not planning to update these future statements unless the law requires them to. So, what is in this report regarding future expectations is what they're saying as of the date of this filing. Lastly, there is a disclaimer here stating that this communication is not an offer to sell or buy any securities, nor a solicitation for votes or approvals. This is standard language to ensure they're not accidentally making an illegal offer or solicitation before all the proper regulatory steps are taken. So, in essence, this 8K is T.M.T.G formally announcing that their CEO discussed a potential merger with TAE Technologies. It is the start of a process that will involve a lot more detailed filings and disclosures. What TMTG shareholders should be focused on is the evolving landscape of this potential business combination and any future updates from the company regarding TAE. The main angle here is that this filing signals a significant strategic move is being considered, and the details will be crucial to watch. The risk I am watching is how the market will react to the terms of this proposed combination with TAE Technologies, especially if the financials of TAE are not as strong as investors hope. My biggest concern is whether this merger will create real value or just dilute existing shareholder value. What I'm actually looking for is a detailed breakdown of TAE Technologies' business and its financial health in the upcoming S-4 filing. Oh, and the research tools I actually use are linked in the description. They help keep this channel going. That is my take. Stay decoded if this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description.